Hello Yellow class, welcome to our home learning for Friday. So let's have a look what we're going to do today. We're going to start off as always with our speed sounds. So pause the video, have a quick run through and then see if you can do some of them out of order. We've got our tricky words. We're not going to practice our tricky words today because you should know them by now, and later on I'd like you to have a little spelling test with your mum or your dad or somebody. So we're not going to practice them right now. Now our phonics, our phoneme for this week, we have been thinking about the long O sound and we have looked at all the different ways we can spell that. So we looked at OA, which tends to come in the middle of words. We looked at the OW, which tends to come at the end of words. We looked at the split vowel digraph, where the O and the E have been split up by a naughty little consonant. And then we also looked at a few words where the O and the E are still stuck together. So if you go on Phonics Play, you can have a go at playing some of the games using words with this phoneme in, and have a look at those words and maybe have a go at writing some. And when you do your spellings in a minute, you could see if you could put some long O words into your sentences. So spellings, I'd like you to have a go today at writing down those 4 common exception words, making sure you're spelling them correctly, and as I say, see if you can put some of those into a sentence with some long O words. We have got Spelling Shed. So on Spelling Shed, Mrs. Welling has put 4 activities, 1 for each of the phonemes. You've got an activity with the nest suffix, and you've also got an activity for our common exception words. So have a go at those today. Guided reading, we're responding and explaining today. So what we're thinking of is you have to give your opinion of a character, of a place, based on what you've read. So using what you've read, you've got to be able to describe something. You've got to use the evidence you've read to explain your opinion and to support your answer. So start off maths today by doing some counting in 1s, 2s, 5s and 10s. See if you can count up. See if you've got somebody you can play with where I say 3, you say 3. So if I said 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. So have a go at that. See if you can do that counting in different steps. Now, today we're thinking about temperature, and temperature is quite a strange thing, but we measure temperature with a thermometer. And in our classroom, we've usually got this little thermometer hanging up. I had to bring that round to red class. And a thermometer measures temperature, and the temperature that we tend to measure in is degrees Celsius. You often have on thermometers degrees Fahrenheit, but we don't tend to use that. We use degrees Celsius, okay? Now, when we look at my thermometer, you probably can't see this from there. Inside here, there is a red line, and the red line travels up, and it tells you the temperature in the room that you're in. So this one is telling me, now this is our degrees Celsius, this side, telling me that in the red class, it's 18 degrees Celsius. So that's the temperature in here at the moment, okay? So you might have one of these at home. If you have got a thermometer at home, it's worth having a little look at so you get an idea of how a thermometer works, okay? And in the last week, well, the week before half term, we actually had lots of temperatures down in this minus down here. So this is 0, and we've talked about in class about minus numbers. They come before. Now, on the website, I have put the links to 2 little things. There's one with a thermometer, and you can move the indicator in the middle. You can move it up and down, and it gives you an idea of what those temperatures are like, because when we talk about these numbers, sometimes we don't really understand what they mean. So you can move this, and it gives you an image, and it talks to you about what it would be like to be at 50 degrees Celsius, and it also talks about what it's like at, say, minus 20 degrees Celsius. So have a little look at that. The idea of that is just to have a look at the different temperatures and what they mean. And then there is also a little video, a little short BBC video, again talking a bit about temperature. So have a watch of those 2 and make sure you're really in the thinking about temperature. And then today in your pack, you have got some thermometers, and what I'd like you to do is have a go at reading those different temperatures off of the thermometers. Okay, so that's what you're going to do today for maths. Now just watch the thermometers. The scale on these goes up in 5. So this isn't 1 degree. When you can read it up close, you should be able to see it. Each of these, they go up in 5. So you need that counting in 5s for those. Listen to the story, the papaya that spoke. Try to join in. Try to use the actions to see if you can remember that story. And you've got my story map. You should have your own story map that you've done now, and that can help you retell the story as well. So yesterday we were writing the story, and hopefully we got about halfway. Okay, it's quite a long story, quite a lot to get written, so we were aiming to get halfway, and we got to about here. So we've got to the shepherd. So he ran and he ran and he ran until he met a shepherd with his goats. And our shepherd's going to ask, why are you running so fast when the sun is shining so brightly? Okay, now that's speech. We haven't looked at speech marks. You might use them, you might not want to use them, but I'll just show you. So speech marks, we tend to put them in, perhaps if I got my pen on. So, why, capital W for why. Why are you now running? What happens when I add the ing on the end of run? Well done, you're right, I have to double that end, don't I? Why are you running so fast when, now we need to remember the H in when the sun is now shining. Think about that word shine. What are we going to do to write shining? We have to take the E off. Well remembered. The sun is shining so brightly. Brightly. So we put a little comma, put our speech mark, so brightly, asked the shepherd. Okay, so today, making sure that you're doing your writing, try to get in as much as you can. Make sure you look back at your story map to remind you of the different parts of the story, and you've also got that word bank. You can use that. That's there for you to use. That's not cheating, it's to help you with your spellings. Okay? So, have a good day, and I'll see you this afternoon. Take care.